3, 2, 1, and go.
Yes. Hi everyone, I am Punya Agarwal. She is Tushita Gupta. We both are the admins of Being ACCA, and once again we are back with our series, The ACCA Journey Part 4. And today we have with us Suraj. And let's begin with this session. He is from Mumbai. He's currently pursuing ACCA. He was a CA dropout earlier. So let's hear from him about his journey and get to know about his experiences. So hi Suraj, can you please let our audience know something about you?
Yeah, hi Tushita, hi Punya. Yeah, I'm Suraj Bhutra. I'm from Mumbai, and I completed my graduation in the year 2020. I've done my normal BCom from Mithibai College, and at that time I was pursuing my CA, and I had done with my CA foundation. And then after during my COVID time, I did multiple attempts with the CA inter. So I just decided, so it's the right time to move on from here. So I heard about basically the ACCA part. So I had researched about this one, and I had seen multiple videos over YouTube. And my cousin was also was pursuing ACCA earlier on. So I just had an idea about this course about from him also, and multiples. I had made a comparison about this because there was a lot of confusion whether the ACCA has scope in India or not. What is the job market, and what is the salary for the freshers and for the trainees and for the experienced one. And I had made a comparison not only about the CA part. It was not CA versus ACCA. Basically, I made a comparison about ACCA versus CFA, CPA versus ACCA. So I had a multiple doubts about it, but I saw multiple videos and other things. So I decided that ACCA has a more reach and it's a global qualification. And keeping in mind, as I was a CA inter student, dropout student, and I had completed my graduation, so I had the benefit of taking couple of exemptions from here. So I had enrolled with ACCA in the year 2021 end, and this was my last attempt which I gave with my CA IPCC also after December 21. And at that time, I had registered and I got 6 papers exemptions. On the basis of my BCom, I got 4. And on 2, I got CA intermediate based on tax and audit, the individual paper criteria, which I had claimed from ACCA. And at that time, I was looking for some kind of job opportunities or internship type. I had put in I had given multiple interviews and I had dropped my CVs also. I got an offer from multiple CA firms locally also. But then after giving a walk-in interview in QX Global Group, I was selected. Basically, I had applied for UK accounting role, but they told me that the vacancy is available in UK payroll. So I got selected in UK payroll. I worked there for 13 months, and I was working with UK payroll, where I had learned about working with UK clients, processing of timesheets and other things. And the main advantage I was having that I got support from them because it was an approved employer.
Yeah.
So on the basis of that, I was getting the benefit of that one, and it was counted towards my PER also, where I could claim multiple performance objective also. And plus I had claimed 1 year of experience also in UK payroll there. And talking about my journey, it was not an easy journey to start off, because I was going to leave after CA. I was planning to drop ACC also, because I was finding more tougher than CA also, because I was clueless, because I was not able to understand where should I go. Because with the job part and other things, it was said then easy. Many people do manage it, I know, but on the contrary, it was very difficult for me. I had seen multiple failures in my start of this. In 22, I skipped multiple attempts. Then in December, I first time I gave my FR. It's like that I was literally not prepared, and it was my first attempt. So chalo, matlab it's like that कि matlab I needed to start off my journey. So FR मैंने खुद से दिया था, and then after that I decided that in last March कि it's better to take a break from my job and to do with the ACCA part. तो मेरे को अब यही समझ में मतलब I was getting this thing that hesitant, that how should I restart again after failing multiple times in FR and then in other subjects. So it was like that कि यार अब ACCA भी अब मेरे बस का बात नहीं है. So it was like that. After that I started with this part. I researched about this multiple. Disclaimer here: I'm not promoting any sort of teachers or something like that. Luckily, I got CA Vishal Jain sir. I watched his YouTube video lectures, and at the same time I was referring multiple open tuition notes also, and their lectures also. It helped me a lot with the FR concept clarity and other things. And I just did pure with his self study and other things. I just watched his YouTube marathons and other things. And FR, it was like that. Mostly people do this mistake that they do not practice on Excel and other things. When talking on multiple Telegram channels and the views over this multiple ACCA channels, I have seen this that many students tell that ki it's an objective part, ho jayega, and in Excel, if you do pen and paper practice also, it's like that many people will be doing so. But I do not think so. That's a correct way to approach the ACC examination. It's a computer-based examination, so I think so that you need to make an habit to you need to inculcate a habit to write from day one to start practicing on Excel. And it was and I didn't left any single question. I did each and everything on Excel. The practical part at least of consolidation topic, and the ratios part I did the rough calculation and other things, and I had refer more multiple videos of Mustafa Mishrawala sir and this Yashir Rahman YouTube channel. They are very good faculties. I personally like their channel. And talking about the practice is must. Consistency is important. I figure out earlier on, and which I did this mistake in my job. It was like that. I used to study 3 days, and I didn't study 3 days. It was like that. In a week, and in weekends also I used to get off. So it was like that. Matlab, it was very hectic after working 5 days. So it was very difficult for me. And at that time, so I made a consistency that ki kam se kam kuch bhi ho, एटलीस्ट एफआर को सबको मतलब कम से कम एक सब्जेक्ट भी देना है तो अच्छे से देना है. सो आई स्टार्टेड डेडिकेटिंग फ्रॉम डे वन की 4 घंटा 5 घंटा ऐसे मतलब करना है. सो लिटरली आई मेड इट कि दैट मेरे को पहले करना है. यूजुअली व्हाट पीपल स्टार्ट दैट कि मतलब बेसिकली दे डू विद द स्टैंडर्ड्स पार्ट एंड अदर. Being an IPC student, I had this advantage because मेरा consolidation वगैरह they had this common topic in advanced accounting. So it's that many people will be telling that कि पहले बेसिक से स्टार्ट करना चाहिए, बट आई स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम बिहाइंड बिकॉज आई हैड दैट बेस. सो आई स्टार्टेड विद द कंसोलिडेशन पार्ट, एंड देन आई डिड विद द रेशियो पार्ट, एंड देन आई डिड विद दिस. एंड फिर मैं साथ में स्टैंडर्ड्स वगैरह का भी बेसिक आई स्टार्टेड टू डेवलप टुगेदर विद इट. And talking about my basic journey part, it was not an easy to switch from CA to ACCA because I am coming from a background of CA family. 20 to 25 CAs are there in my family. So 11 12th में कॉमर्स यही लेके शुरू किया था कि आगे सीए करना है. उसके बाद फिर मतलब समझ में आया कि यार सीए मतलब अभी सभी लोग सीए घर पे, तो और कुछ कर रहा था तो बहुत ज्यादा कंफ्यूजन था वो टाइम पे. तो आई जस्ट स्टार्टेड विद द सीए. मैं बोला कि मतलब आई विल बी जस्ट स्टार्टिंग, एंड उसके बाद मतलब एंड मतलब मेनी पीपल मतलब जस्ट क्वेश्चन अबाउट इट दैट कि इट्स मतलब सही में पॉसिबल होगा बिकॉज नो वन हैड दिस आइडिया. एंड राइट नाउ आल्सो दे आर इन मतलब कि दैट मतलब यू नीड टू कंप्लीट दैट थिंग मतलब दिस थिंग. एंड talking about my this ये FR का था. And I will be just giving one suggestion that I guess more and more people, if students can help each other over Telegram group, because I've seen that if people can support voluntarily and this thing, so वो काफी चीजें हेल्प हो जाती है. बिकॉज ये चीज मैंने देखा है कि खुद से तो आप प्रिपेयर कर रहे हो, बट FR में आई गॉट 4 to 5 bunches of people. जो एक व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप बनाने के बाद एक दूसरे से कोऑर्डिनेशन करने के बाद वो काफी इजी पड़ा बिकॉज वो लोग भी FR कर रहे थे. तो
एग्जैक्टली.
वो किट का सोल्यूशन देख के समझना एंड वो सब चीजें हैं. एंड ये चीजें मैं एक और चीज बोलना चाहूंगा कि यू कैन नॉट रिलाई ऑन लेक्चर्स के लिए ऑन एवरीथिंग, बिकॉज आई हैव सीन दैट कि यार मैंने कि मतलब मैनी मतलब इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल फॉर एनी ऑफ द फैकल्टीज टू डू एग्जाम किट पूरा. सो इट्स इम्पोर्टेंट कि दैट कि आप किट का जो आंसर्स है ना, इट्स इम्पोर्टेंट दैट यू ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड, यू ट्राई टू एनालाइज फ्रॉम योर ओन कि मतलब कैसे सोल्यूशंस दिए हैं. एंड कैप्टन में आई यूज्ड टू रेफर कैप्टन. कैप्टन वाज स्टूडेंट फ्रेंडली. एंड ओपन ट्यूशन वगैरह के नोट्स वगैरह जो थे IFRS वगैरह तो बहुत क्रिस्प थे, बहुत सही थे. मतलब ऐसा था मतलब और प्लस सर के भी जो मैंने नोट्स वगैरह रेफर किए वो तो काफी हेल्पफुल था उसमें.
Right.
And then after that, I talking about FM. FM ka I was also been bit confusion ki that matlab I do on myself or matlab it's like that it was very debatable point. I just decided कि that कि चलो खुद से start किए तो खुद से करना ही है. So I started with my FM part and same thing. I started with the some of the lectures of open tuition and FM का I studied in some of the part in IPCC also. So वो जो इन्वेस्टमेंट अप्रेजल कैपिटल बजटिंग वाला पार्ट है ना उधर से भी काफी हेल्प हुआ. एंड यूट्यूब वगैरह में जो लेक्चर्स वगैरह है और आपका जो टेलीग्राम सॉरी आपका तो व्हाट्सएप
WhatsApp.
ग्रुप है एसीसीए का उसमें भी मतलब लकीली आई गॉट 2 to 3 people they were helping me and thanks to your YouTube channel also I had watched some of your this kit solutions and other things उससे मेरे को काफी हेल्प मिला बिकॉज वो खासकर जो आपका डिसीजन मेकिंग पार्ट वगैरह था वो जो टेक्निकल वगैरह था ना इट वाज वेरी डिफिकल्ट वो बियॉन्ड हेड जा रहा था. सो उससे कुछ वो सेक्शंस बी वगैरह के प्रैक्टिस वगैरह किए थे और अगेन सेम टेक्निक मैंने जो एफआर में जो मैंने अप्लाई किया था ना मैंने वही सेम टेक्निक आई जस्ट वांटेड कि दैट कि मेरा एक पेपर हो. सो आई गेट सो आई वाज यूज्ड टू विद दिस एसीसीए पैटर्न राइट नाउ. सो अब मुझे पता था कि दैट हाउ आई नीड टू डू दिस थिंग. So I just started with this again this section C part wala investment appraisal. I picked the first thing. Investment appraisal ka I studied the basics from some of the open tuition notes and I started reading the study texts and understanding from test to understanding from there. And साथ ही साथ I started doing the kits also and kits के भी मतलब almost the questions I did at least the practical parts I started doing over the Excel. And my strategy was that ki kam se kam at least I made a target that at least 2 to 3 sums I need to practice every day. So I had this habit of watching the lecture and doing the Excel मतलब Excel में proper formula, proper formatting के साथ I used to do it. ऐसा नहीं है कि मतलब that कि I need मतलब I did rough or something like that. I made my own notes and other things. And talking about the theory part also, theory part of the investment appraisal and other things also, it was very easy to understand because जो आपका Kaplan जो exam kit में जो language जो था ना, it's very easy to understand from there. And
Right.
more, if you see the question pattern and the chunk part now, the questions are repetitive nature. NP, advantages, disadvantages, technical analysis, वो कहीं ना कहीं एग्जामिनर अगर पूछेगा भी तो वो कितना घुमा के पूछेगा. इट वाज लाइक दैट इट वाज वेरी इजी टू अंडरस्टैंड इन दैट मैनर. एंड सिमिलरली फॉर द रेशियो एनालिसिस पार्ट आल्सो व्हेन आई डिड इन एफआर आल्सो रेशियो पार्ट आल्सो आई जस्ट गॉट 3 to 4 क्वेश्चंस का ऐसा ऐसा आइडिया. I just watched the lectures and then I started to interpret myself. It's important that you analyze yourself. And firstly, it's important to read the questions and the basic requirements की क्या क्या है. मतलब go line by line. It's rather reading the full question. I think so. मतलब it should be break down into small parts.
Right. Right.
Because I've seen that पूरा मतलब if you read full question ना तो मतलब it's like that students देख के घबरा जाते हैं. So I tried to point out the simple points and other things and practical वगैरह and I used to pick those first कि कौन से easy pointers हैं. So I used to do that and मतलब investment appraisal के बाद my technique was that investment appraisal के बाद I picked up cost of capital and the investment decision. And cost of capital वाला मतलब I developed with my basic formulas and charts. So I had this habit of writing each and everything. It's important that even if you are writing on it, also it's important that you make your notes. So I always have this habit of while watching the lectures and other things, I make each and everything notes or something because it's very difficult to remember and it's not possible again to go back and to watch the lectures again. So it my I had this habit from my school time and from my CA time also that कि जो भी lectures वगैरह देखो I had even for the small points I made a habit to jot down
Right.
because वो lectures में important चीज है and investment appraisal cost of capital and then I did with the working capital part. And A and B part, I started to do side में small parts, and I referred the Kaplan exam kit A and B. And BPP, I just did an A and B because I didn't have the time for study up for both FR and FM. It was very difficult because time का बहुत shortage था. तो I guess जो A and B में जो था ना questions, अगर आपने FM में अगर FR में अच्छे से किया है और उससे FR से क्या हो गया FM में भी है ना ratios वगैरह में जो interpretation जो आपका working capital में जो part था, it was very easy to understand. बिकॉज वो जो computation part है ना, because FR base develops a base for your this FM, PM also, in fact for your double A. Double A I didn't give because I had an exemption.
Hmm.
But ये अभी I am planning for PM, so वो जो ratio वाला part है, it comes in section C also. It might be helping me in there also.
Right, right, right. Absolutely. So let's start. I think that was a pretty brief introduction of yours. You gave like really good, strategies for the students to follow. So the first thing we want to ask you is that what was there any particular reason that you thought of dropping CA and then shifting it to ACCA? Was there any particular reason?
See, I made a decision. It was a very tough call to take because it was not easy coming from a CA family, because I was questioned couple of times, and still now I've been questioning
Right.
that ki matlab you will be completing this thing na, at least. So it's not that easy, because coming from a CA background, because no one has the idea of this ACCA one, and and right now people are thinking that कि इंडिया में इसका स्कोप है नहीं, तो अभी तुम कर ही रहे हो तो बेटर, मतलब इट्स लाइक दैट कि मतलब बेटर अब्रॉड में ज्यादा अपॉर्चुनिटी है इसका.
Hmm.
बट आई थिंक सो इंडिया में भी अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटीज है.
Hai, hai.
And I it was my own decision. It was not that ki matlab my that I had seen someone. None of my friends from CA background has taken ACCA. They
Hmm.
either move to CFA or they move to MBA, or they stick to their CA
Particular.
part only. So I take my own call only on this thing.
Okay.
So that would have been a very, strong decision to make on your part, and I really respect you for that. And it's very strong of you to come out of your, all of the worries that you had and take such a strong foot for yourself. And let me assure you that whatever decisions that you take for yourself, these are going to be, no matter how these decisions turn out to be, these were the decisions that you took for yourself, and you are the one who will be responsible for all of this. So it's going to be, it's going to be a great feeling when you ultimately achieve the qualification and work towards your profession. So all the very best on the journey that you have ahead. You
Thank
have,
you.
in while you were introducing yourself and giving your strategies, you have pretty much, we had framed some questions for you earlier on, but it was such a detailed introduction that you have more or less answered pretty much what all we had to ask you. So just to like follow up on what you were telling us, so you have now prepared for both CA exams as well as ACCA exams. So how do you think, the preparation strategy, the exam structure, more or less people know how they differ, but how you prepare for them is something which significantly differs, which I think so. I have never studied for a CA exam, but I have completed the ACCA qualification, but so I know that it's got to be very different from what you do towards studying for a chartered accountancy exam. So how would you think that how would you tell someone that how the preparation strategy differs?
See, first of all, I would be recommending concept clarity is utmost
Hmm.
important in ACCA.
Right.
You cannot rote learn the things, because this I realized in my CA part, because CA part we used to the mostly the questions was the practical aspect also. So it was like that we needed to refer from CA Institute material. So most of the questions were the practice from matlab the part was the questions was framed from there only. It was like that if you have studied your study material well, so you are done with that. And talking about the CA versus ACCA part, CA, I guess the somewhere the practical aspect was the sums part was more asked, and ACCA they balances up the paper. I've seen that FR, FM, PM. If you can say that they are mostly people will say that practical paper hai, ho jayega, but it's not like that. I have realized this thing after coming that ki matlab you need to read a lot of theory, you need to revise lot of theory, and understanding remembering the standards part, and this thing it is important. And it's like that matlab, people will be saying that it's a practical subject, so theory doesn't make any sense. But I am the way the ACCA test on the MCQ part and other things, it's not an easy thing, because I have realized myself only even after preparing from this multiple kits and other things, it was like that ki, reading steady text also, multiple resources also, it was like that I was myself confused that what should I do now, because the questions ka jo level, it's very tricky.
Yeah.
So it's like that you cannot miss out or something like that, or you cannot go on just on a permutation or combination basis कि ये आ सकता है ये नहीं आ सकता है, वो एक मिस्टेक नहीं होना चाहिए. इट्स लाइक दैट, मतलब आई थिंक सो. एंड इट्स अ कंप्यूटर बेस्ड, सो अगेन वही चीज है कि स्टार्टिंग से यू नीड टू मेक एन हैबिट टू प्रैक्टिस ऑन योर ACCA प्रैक्टिस प्लेटफॉर्म, because I did this and mock papers are important, which I didn't personally focus on that much because with time I didn't able to cater. But this is the thing, I've heard most of this and I want to implement this thing.
Okay, absolutely, absolutely. So next thing is that you joined a new qualification, which was ACCA, with the help of a few of the exemptions, which was your knowledge level plus tax and double A. Did you face, and you jumped onto the skill level directly. So did you face any particular issues because you took the exemptions, even though you knew the concepts, of course, but did you face any particular challenges in terms of how ACCA is structured? Because it is very different from what we do in our 11th and 12th or BCom or CA even. So, any challenges you faced in that aspect?
I guess Punya, I answered in this thing in my introductory part. I told you that when I was doing my job, so it was like I told you that I was finding that CA is more. I was about to drop ACC also because I didn't know the pattern part and other things. It was like that ki I was in that mindset that ki most I was doing a miserable thing that ki CMA I have given 8 papers,
Hmm.
one group, two group together. So I was also under this misconception that ki ACCA में it was like that कि मतलब it will be simply हो जाएगा कि दो दो पेपर तीन तीन पेपर, क्योंकि अभी फाउंडेशन निकाले एंड फाउंडेशन में भी आई हैड सीन माय फेलियर इन माय फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट.
Okay.
I didn't give my CPT. I was in from new syllabus, so I had seen this descriptive thing and IPCC multiple 5 to 6 failure attempts. I had seen it. सो इट वाज लाइक दैट कि मतलब अभी वो सीए के साथ वही मेंटालिटी के साथ आए थे कि दैट मतलब वो हो जाएगा. बट दिस इज अ ब्लंडर. आई मतलब सीए अलग चीज है, एसीसी अलग चीज है. So this is my suggestion. Those who are coming from CA background, that ki do not think that ki if you're coming from IPCC background that it will be a cakewalk or skill level or even professional level. For even CA final student also, I have seen that many even after they have taken 9 paper exemption, it's not about those who have taken with the integrated part. Even जो CA route से भी आ रहे, they are struggling with the professional level part. That's the
Absolutely.
reality.
Exactly.
They even I had that experience also somewhere saying that ki, this papers that kind of level we have not seen in CA also in our practical experience also.
Yeah.
I had this scenario in my exam center only last quarter when wherein couple appeared. They told me that कि हम लोग ने 12 साल के experience पे we have not seen that kind of paper which जो SBR में आया था दिसंबर में.
Okay. Oh, that's new, I think.
Yeah, even I would like to share an example. I don't think I've ever spoken about this before, but when we went, so Punya and I together went for our SBL exam, and we saw a person who was probably who got 9 exemptions and was straight away sitting for the SBL paper. And he had not practiced any mock, he had not studied anything. He was simply overconfident that I am a chartered accountancy student, I know everything, ACC कितना ही मुश्किल हो सकता है. So he was of that thought, that school of thought. So it happened so that he was sitting right next to me, and I was struggling to finish my paper. It used to be a 4-hour paper
Yeah.
when we attempted it. So I was struggling to type and type so that I don't run out of time and I'm able to finish my entire paper. And that guy is just sitting idle because he does not understand what exactly he has to do. He does not know what he's supposed to write, what he's supposed to answer. So the fact that a lot of so I really don't blame it on the students. It's more or less the faculty of chartered accountancy that articulates such sort of a mindset in the students that if you're pursuing such a different qualification, then you are probably the king of the world if you have achieved something like this.
Disclaimer. Nothing against any other courses.
Exactly, nothing
But
against.
otherwise, people will be coming up and
Yeah.
saying
Definitely.
that, yeah, CA versus ACCA, again, the
See,
debate has been
it's
started.
not about one qualification versus another, but just to say that because I am a chartered accountant, I would know everything about a different qualification is probably showing a little bit of disrespect to the other qualification which you're trying to obtain. If at all it was such an easy qualification, why do you even want it? You are a chartered accountant, why do you want that qualification, right?
I I want to give one more situation in my FR when I had attempted for the second time. I also run out of my time. It was like that. I would not be lying you. It was like that around. I was seeing the timer. I had devoted around 1 hour 45 minutes or 50 minutes in my section B only A and B. And that too, I came back to flag questions. मतलब समझ ही नहीं आ रहा है कि क्या करे क्या नहीं करे.
Oh my
And
god.
then after that single entity का when I saw this question, मतलब आई वाज लाइक दैट यार क्या एडजस्टमेंट्स है यार. मतलब अभी प्रैक्टिस करने के बाद भी मतलब कहाँ से पॉइंटर्स उठा के पूछे गए. मतलब आई वाज मतलब लिटरली कंफ्यूज्ड.
Hmm.
एंड देन रेशियो वाला दे मर्ज दिस वाला अपना इंट्रा कंपनी का ट्रांजैक्शन का पूरा मर्ज रेशियोज पता नहीं क्या क्या मर्ज. और एक तो इतना बड़ा क्वेश्चन. मतलब आई वाज आल्सो कंफ्यूज्ड. सो आई वाज टॉस अप कि दैट अभी पास होने के लिए आई शुड अटेंड रेशियो और आई शुड गो टू सिंगल एंटिटी वर्किंग. सो आई वाज जस्ट आई टुक अ वाइज कॉल दैट की रेशियोज में दैट मतलब it's very important that if you're running out of time also, that you make a wise call. Because I have seen that many people, it's like that you're getting 100 marks a paper and it's
Hmm.
3 hours only. So it's not like that you will be scoring only 100, you will not be scoring 120. So I've seen that make a wise call while attempting the paper also ki matlab first go with the order and see maybe if somewhere you get stuck in the time lag or something. So I guess the question calling should be also wise, that which portion you should be attend. You need to get the easy marks first. So I made a wise decision by attempting the ratio formulas first. I did the calculations and interpretation. I know that I had made a compromise somewhere or something, but I was like that मतलब question से जो भी information type मिल रहा है, I had written from there. I made my own analysis. It was not up to the mark, and single entity I was left only 10 minutes. I was like that. I used the what I did. I just made the extracts and extracts. I was asked in balance sheet, and I was asked to calculate PNL some adjustments or something.
Hmm.
So balance sheet part, what I did, I just wrote the items and I just copy paste the figures from there. So it's like that. Even if you make the format or something like that, it's like that. Rather leaving the question, now
Yeah.
examiner will give you marks for something.
Exactly.
And for the same question, I didn't did any working note or something. And I when I calculated my this performance measurement, this on your my ACCA tool, I nearly scored. I guess मतलब for the working part, I got 4.5 or 5 something. खाली format बनाने का. And in ratios also, I got fairly 14 around. It's like that. And it's
That's
important that you attend full paper because मतलब many people just are not able to manage the time. So वो mock से आ पाएगा. And I believe that कि paper पूरा attempt करना चाहिए because more you attempt, you have the greater chance of passing. The similar technique I used in FM, इन्वेस्टमेंट अप्रेजल वगैरह में भी आई वाज मतलब वही मतलब ए एंड बी आई वाज कंफ्यूज दैट मतलब कि एफएम में कैसे होगा. सो आई जस्ट मूव्ड इट. मतलब जो आता था आई जस्ट यू शुड नॉट बी लिविंग एनी एमसीक्यू आल्सो इवन इफ यू डू नॉट नो.
Yeah.
जस्ट मार्क इट बिकॉज देयर इज नो नेगेटिव मार्किंग इन इट. सो उसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. एंड सी में भी आई जस्ट पिक द इन्वेस्टमेंट अप्रेजल, वो जो इजी मार्क्स फर्स्ट थे. एंड थ्योरेटिकल में भी जो आता था आई जस्ट रोट इट. एंड दिस एंड वर्किंग कैपिटल आल्सो आई डिड इट. And due to this FM also, I around if I calculated my performance measurement, I could scored more than 30 out of 40 in section C only. And I got 62 in FM due to this.
That's great. That's really great. And we have always been, whenever students approach us for guidance, we have also been advising the same thing, that it's very important that you complete entire 100 marks of paper so that you maximize your chances of passing. Yeah, that's it. So So we had a lot of questions for you, but you seem to have pretty much answered, like I told. There's just one last question that I
Sure,
want
sure.
to ask you before we conclude. So this is about, you have self-studied 2 papers and you're currently also self-studying for more. So what do you think are the top 3 resources for all of the students who are self-studying?
Top three resources, according to me, will be referring one of the text Kaplan. I would be recommending Kaplan because it's a student friendly. And talking about the exam kits part, I guess Kaplan A, B, C needs to be done at least for 2 parts. C, even if you do not do the BPP part, also
Yeah.
it's okay because the more or less the questions are repeated.
Yeah.
So it's important. BPP, I guess Kaplan doesn't test you much. BPP test you more than that because if you compare, BPP and Kaplan's are 2 poles apart. It's like that. Matlab, if BPP is asking you ABCD, it will be sorry, Kaplan, and BPP will be asking you the reverse of that.
Hmm.
Ki what are the possibility of that? So I guess BPP will be taking you a lot of thing. And if you have the time, you can go to the study hub part because it's a new edition by the ACCA. Study apart if you have the
Absolutely.
time, but I guess it should not be like that if you're referring too many resources, because too many resources will be confusing also.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
whichever you are resourcing is you are referring, make sure that you practice and you revise it before the exams also. It's most important that you make a revision plan and other things, because I what for FR and FM also, I completed the portion in less than two. Well, I didn't study for 2.5 months also, but it's like that I revise each and everything in last 15 days. That becomes the crucial where you attend the mock
Exactly.
part also and make the revision and make sure that you revise each and everything. Matlab, I personally, it was like I didn't did that कि ऊपर ऊपर से पढ़ना or something like that. सेक्शन सी का मैंने जो भी क्वेश्चंस प्रैक्टिस किया, आई डिडंट सॉल्व ऑन एक्सेल. इट्स लाइक दैट आई मतलब it was like that कि मतलब I had done those things. So it's always recommendable that you complete your syllabus on time.
Hmm.
And बाद में रिवीजन के टाइम में you do not find any difficulty something like that कि ये resource you need to refer this one and this thing, because I had my things in place. So it was easy to refer. मतलब I didn't मतलब मुझे इधर उधर नहीं देखना पड़ा कि मतलब I have to go to this channel or that channel or something like that, or either उधर notes. I had my notes in place also, and plus I had मतलब seen each and every questions कि कैसा क्या formulas लगा है over the Excel part and other things, and I had the theory notes in my place. And kid part also, I मतलब ऐसा नहीं था कि I used to test myself that whether I remember or something like that. I always had a reading habit. More you read, you will be getting better with that. Even
Exactly.
with the objective part also, the back answer solutions, if you can read, I would be recommending you that. And the kit answer also, and the examiner's report part also, I do not think so you need to go to website or something like that. Examiner's competence written after section C, every answer only in back. So you
Yeah,
don't
but
need to go
they're not
like that.
very much in detail. So we usually suggest students to go for the exam report only.
But but practically, if you would ask to me, you're not be having that much time that you would be reading every examiner comment. So even if you're getting the brief also, you can just read it out from them. I personally did from the random questions for that.
Yeah.
Perhaps that worked for you, but there are also some MCQs that are there in
Hmm.
examiner's report, which most of the questions, which most of the students answered incorrectly. So those are also very important questions to practice, because that's probably something which you also would have gotten wrong in the exam. So no harm in practicing those. Again, maybe a difference of opinion, both of them would be valid, but yeah.
And one more thing, it's important to attend the pre mock.
Exactly.
I had a scenario FM ka, if you remember the pre mock part, the capital rationing one question, the morning same 8 mark question came in
Oh,
the morning attempt. Pre
okay.
mock also, people say that ki ACCAs में मतलब it's मतलब वो मतलब it was luck that you got the question, but
Yeah.
it's always
Actually
important.
happened with
People ignore
us.
pre mock part. Yeah.
It actually happened with us as well. In our PM paper, one of the MCQs, or like two MCQs, came same. Actually, the values were also same. I'm not
Yeah,
pretty sure of that.
and from the examiner report as well. So, like I'm telling you, there are some MCQ questions which most people get wrong. So, there was this one question, this happened in my FM exam itself. There was this one question which I had practiced from the examiner reports, and because I had practiced it towards like the end of the preparation near to the day of the exam, I even remembered the values. So I saw that, the values seem familiar to me, but still I calculated because I had that, doubt in my mind, what if something is different? So I calculated, I got the same answer, and then I was smiling in the middle of the exam that, okay, 2 marks are for sure.
I also similar thing because I was worried about the section C part because I was like that कि I was grabbing my head or something like that कि यार टेक्निकल इतना ज्यादा है क्या क्या थ्योरी क्या क्या पूछा जा सकता है क्या क्या याद रखे सो इट वाज लाइक दैट यार 8 नंबर डायरेक्ट मतलब कैपिटल रैशनिंग आ गया एंड 8 मार्क्स इन वर्किंग कैपिटल इट वाज लाइक ट्रेड रिसीवेबल का फैक्टर्स लिखो सो कैन यू इमेजिन लाइक दैट कि मतलब उससे अगर उसमें भी इफ समवन हैज नॉट एबल टू रिटर्न सो इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट आफ्टर दैट आल्सो
Yeah,
बिकॉज़ उससे ज़्यादा ईज़ी क्वेश्चन मतलब एबल इट्स लाइक दैट मतलब वो मतलब इट्स लाइक अ वंस इन अ ब्लू मून टाइप ऑफ समथिंग
exactly, exactly. So I think with this we come to an end to the session. Thank you so much, Suraj, for enlightening our students, and maybe through this video they'll get an insight how to attempt the paper, all of the tricks and tips that you told them regarding the self study. I'm sure that they will be getting a lot of help out of that. So thank you so much for doing this with us.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
sure. And Punya, I had one more suggestion. If on your channel, if you can start with a job series